Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Recently, I have been busy doing a lot of stuff, sewing a lot, making a lot of projects, but none of them are actually for myself. And the weather is definitely getting colder, it's October already, and temperature is dropping, and I realize I don't have anything to wear during this winter. So I came up with a plan, which is to make myself an outfit every single weekend during the entire October, just to make sure when November and December arrive, I will not freeze to death. So this week I am making the first outfit of this winter, 2020. It's going to be a 50s inspired jersey sweater and skirt combo. And I have all the fabrics here, so I'm just going to show you what I'm going to use. So first, the skirt. I'm using 100% wool tweed. As you can see, it's in a really bright color, really. It's not something I would usually do during the winter. I, like a lot of people, wear darker colors like navy or black or very dark brown during the winter, but I think this would be an interesting touch of color in my closet. And this is the lining I'll be using for the skirt. It's 100% cotton. That's just lying around in my sewing stash, and I have been looking for a chance to use this cotton, so this would be the perfect project to utilize this random cotton that's lying around. For the jersey top, I have a very large piece, it's very large indeed, a large piece of 100% cotton jersey. It's super soft, it almost feels like cashmere. It's slightly on the expensive side, but well, I'm okay with it because it's like a really good quality cotton. And as you can see, all the colors here work quite perfectly. So I'm pretty sure that even when I look into the lining of my skirt, I would still feel very happy about the pairing of the lining and the wool fabric. And as you can see, this sweater top and this skirt fabric, they are working together quite nicely as well. So I'm really excited to be using all these materials I've been having for approximately a month, really. But I just never really got time to make something for myself. So finally this weekend I'm making it, and I'm super excited. And let's go straight into the pattern making. What I'm excited about is the skirts. I found a pattern on Pinterest. It was kind of like a vintage pattern, but it was in Russian, so I didn't understand anything. But I did memorize the pattern making results, so to speak, on that graph. So I drew it myself here. As you can see, I've got quite some math done, but still I'm not entirely sure if I can work it out. But yeah, I guess it's a fun little experiment we can do. It's actually a circle skirt, but the smart thing is that they also utilize the corners of the square to make the skirt, so that, first of all, you would waste less fabric, obviously, but also it creates this sort of, fitted and then flaring out sort of look on the skirt, which I think is super cute, and I'm really excited to try it out. So I think we can directly draft this pattern on this wool and see what we come up with. So now I've cut out the circle from the big square, and I've taken the circle away from my cutting area so that I don't accidentally cut on the circle. And now we have four corners waiting to be used. So based on my understanding of the graph, this part will be my actual waistline, and it extends like this, and these corners can be inserted into the circle. So the only thing I need to make sure is that this would actually fit my waist. So I think I'm just going to do a straight line here and measure a quarter of my waist with seam allowance and just slice it down like this. And we can match these corners onto the circle and try to make out the size of the tiny square on the center of the circle, and then we can cut open the square. I'm not making much sense, but I hope you can understand from what I am doing. And yeah, let's cut these four corners. So what I have here now is the circle on fold, and these 4 pieces of corners. So I think I'm just going to try and match it like this, because yeah, this corner will be going in the corner that is created by 2 panels sewn together, so it will be sewn on like this. And this is the part I need to cut open, so I'm just going to use my tailor's chalk and my clear ruler to make this square here, and then I'll just cut it open with my scissors, and I think we can go directly into sewing the outer skirt. This is really quick and it's going way faster than I expected, which is good because I don't really have much time during this weekend, so I'm just going to mark everything now and cut everything open, and I think I'll see you at the sewing machine. It's been a few hours and I have sewn the dress together. As you can see, all the edges are still raw, so I think I'm just going to spend the night carefully felling them down onto one side to make them really nice and clean. And maybe hem the skirt if I have time. If I work quickly, I think I'll have time to hem the skirt as well. Also, I have tried on the skirts. The only problem is that it's a bit too short for my taste. So I think I'm going to add a yoke slash waistband. It's like a combination between a yoke and a waistband, so it's a very wide bandy strip, so it could make the skirt longer, but at the same time it would fit my waist better because this bit is on the bias. And when I was sewing the skirt, I was pulling it quite a bit, so it stretched out a lot. And yeah, I think adding a yoke could solve the stretch problem and the length problem perfectly at the same time. So this is what I'm going to do. And I think I will talk to you again when I make more progress. I think I will just spend the night very happily hand stitching everything down. Good afternoon. It's already Sunday afternoon. I planned on waking up early this morning and work on the skirt, but I didn't. I didn't wake up until like 12:30 or something, but last night I made some major progress. So as you can see, I've added a yoke and I've added a zipper, and I think I'm just going to cut the lining up, and I will put the lining here and then kind of sandwich the lining with the skirt with this yoke, so just kind of pressing the seams inwards and then hand stitching them together. So the dress will be done in, I think, an hour, and then I will proceed and work on the shirt. As usual, I always drop my new patterns from my block patterns that are already in my sewing stash. These are really handy. You can obviously use any kind of block pattern or basic pattern as you already have. These are really handy because you don't have to start from scratch every single time, and you can get a new pattern relatively quickly. So this is what I'm going to do, and I will start the pattern drafting now. So after less than 30 minutes, I think, I have finished the pattern already. As you can see, it's really, really simple. So I just put the block pattern on here and just cut a bit off on the waist, and I lifted the armhole a tiny bit because I like a smaller armhole on me. Larger armholes, I mean, of course, they would fit more body types and more, well, arms. But the thing is that if you put it way too low, then when you try to lift your arms upwards, it would affect the fitting on the waist. Because you will also lift this part of the fabric, so the entire garment will be like being pulled away from your body, which is not cool. It happens a lot in industrial patterns, but yeah, whenever I get the chance, I always shrink my armhole a tiny bit, just so that I get more movement and more freedom. And this is my sleeve. As you can see, it's really tiny if it's on a woven fabric. it's definitely not going to work, but as I'm working with a knitted jersey today, I think it's going to be quite perfect, and it will wrap itself quite tightly on my arm and create a very nice shape. So yeah, now we can cut the jersey. I have done all the sewing on the top. As you can see, the seams are nicely binded together, and I have hemmed the cuffs and the lower part of the top. The only thing that is raw is the neckline. Well, it's kind of tricky because you can't just turn this part in like I did on the hem and the cuffs, because this part on the shoulder seam, they would just get like stretched out and get all like wonky. So what I did was that I trimmed two skinny tapes from the leftover jersey I have, and I'm just going to use them to bind the neckline, and the top will be done.